Hello and welcome to the quick Start D2L video. What I'd like to do in this video is kind of give you a brief overview of some of the functions that you'll be using within D2L, which is what we use for short for Desire to Learn. Desire to Learn is an LMS or learning management system that we use here at Mercy College. Basically, it is your virtual campus. And today I'd like to do a kind of a quick start guide as far as some of the basic features that you'll be using most commonly in your courses here at Mercy College. So let's get started. Let's jump into D2L and do a quick walkthrough of some of those features. Well, the first place that you'll find after signing on to D2L is kind of your home page. Here you'll find your courses that you are enrolled in. Now my page will look a little bit different because I have instructor, dean chair privileges, but in general your landing page will look the same. Now there's a few things that you'll want to look at on this page, and really the big one is any kind of alerts or notices that will appear here at the top. So make sure, again, looking for anything. Again, in this case we're going to have a system outage where they do an upgrade. So please look at that. Sometimes that can answer questions, maybe why D2L is down. And occasionally D2L has gone down for technical reasons, and they'll put a notice in there that they're currently trying to work on it. But again, look at any kind of notices that might be up there. In this section, you will find your courses that you are enrolled in. So it should be pretty easy to find the courses. Again, you'll click on a link. One of the things that can happen with D2L is the course that you register for, and you register through a system called Empower. Let me just stop here, and for a moment there are basically three systems that you'll use at Mercy College. One will be your email. The email system is separate and outside of all the other systems. The other one is called Empower Me, or we just call it Empower. Empower is your course registration system, how you actually register for the courses. It's also how you will see your final grades. You will not see final grades anywhere else except through Empower. And also you can see your unofficial transcript. It's really your official transcript, but we call it unofficial. Official transcripts are a sealed document, and they go from one institution to another, and the student actually doesn't touch them. But again, you can see what's on your transcript in Empower. And then the other system that you'll use is obviously D2L, or Desire to Learn, your virtual campus. When you register for courses on Empower, it can take 2 business days for that information to migrate over to D2L. So don't necessarily be too concerned after you've registered for a course that you don't see that course appearing in D2L as one of your courses. But it should appear on the first day of your course. It should definitely be there and be active and have a link that you can access. If you don't see it on the first day of the semester, please notify student records or myself or your academic advisor, and we will get to work on that right away to figure out what that issue might be that course is not showing up. So there's a little bit about how those systems, especially Empower and D2L, communicate with each other, but there is a little bit of a lag in the communication between Empower, course registration, and D2L, your virtual campus. All right, so let's actually jump into a course here and look around at some of those basic features. Let's see, we will pick a course that recently ran. I'll do Healthcare Economics, course that I taught not too long ago. Here is the course landing page. Remember, the previous one was kind of like your personal landing page where your information was. Now here is the course landing page. Things to look at. As soon as you hit that page, please look at the course news. Many instructors use that course news as sort of an active blog where we will give you important information, updates, maybe assignment changes will be communicated through that course news. So please take a minute and make sure you always review your course news. Don't assume that always stays the same. I use the course news a lot, as you can see here, with updates, information, all kinds of things that are updated every couple of days. I'm always, trying to put information into that area. So please make sure that you look at that. Now, one of the things with Desire to Learn is that it only holds about 5 news items on this front page. And then there might be a lot more. You're like, oh, where was that news item that my instructor posted about the assignment being changed? I don't see it on here anymore. Well, you can click the Show All News Items. At that point, then you can see every news item that has been currently posted, all the way from the very beginning of the course. You'll be able to go back and look at all the news items that are in there. So remember that little trick there, because it can help you when you're looking for a news item. Okay, so now I've gone to the news items. I'm now looking at every news item that was created for this course that has been posted as of the date that I clicked that button. But let's go back to the course home. Simply, you'll use this course home right up here. Click there. Again, bringing you right back to the home page. All right, so that's the important information on the course home is the news. Okay, the next most important, and where you'll do all of your work, is in the content area. A nice way to think about it is the content is key. It's key to the course. So click the content button. And what we really like about Desire to Learn is the navigation is pretty simple. If you'll notice on the left-hand side, here you'll find very similar elements for all of your courses. They should be pretty much laid out this way, with maybe a few minor tweaks here or there, but pretty much all courses will have the same navigational feel. Let's kind of go over this navigation on the left-hand side. You have the course overview. Please look at the course overview at the very beginning of all of your new courses. It should pop up immediately when you enter content for the first time. Now, I've entered this many times, and it's actually come up at the last point where I left off. But when you first enter a course, it should come up to course overview. If it doesn't, please click on the course overview. This is a very important section where the instructor will tell you the lay of the land of the course, what to expect. You might, and you should find the syllabus in here as well. Definitely read this page in its entirety and download the syllabus and print the syllabus out. Syllabus is a great tool to answer a lot of your questions. Of course, lays out the entire course, when your assignments are due, point values, all of that. So please, in all of your courses, always download your syllabus. In my case, of course, I got the syllabus here. I also have my virtual office link. All of our courses here at Mercy College have what's called a virtual office. A virtual office is what we call a discussion forum. It is a discussion forum where you can ask the instructor a question. Let's pop into my virtual office, for example. And it's a virtual office specific to a course. It's not for the instructor in general, for all courses that this instructor is teaching, just for this course. Okay, so you have a virtual office, and it's where you can ask questions about the course. You don't want to ask questions about a personal nature. You don't want to ask questions about your grades. Those are, again, of a personal nature, and there are privacy regulations. You don't want to say something, hey, I got a C on this test. Why did I get a C? That would be best done through email or a phone call, again, using a private chat function. When you want to use virtual office would be, hey, professor, I noticed I missed question 4. I thought the answer should have been A, but it said the answer was B. I really don't understand why why I got that one wrong. Now, maybe the instructor wrote a bad question. I've written plenty of them. So it's nice to know that maybe I made a mistake on my end. Those things are perfectly fine, and that's a great way to ask that question, because if you're asking that question, there might be 20 others in the class who have that same question. Now, with that being said, whenever you go to virtual office, please look like in this case, you can see where students are asking me questions and I'm answering them. Look for the questions that have already been posted and look for the replies. Your question may have already been answered. An instructor would prefer not to answer the same question 20 times. So if it's already been answered, please go ahead and do so. A lot of instructors here at Mercy College are perfectly okay with students answering other students' questions. So for example, and the instructor will say that typically in this narrative right up here, they'll say that if you see a question from another student, you already know the answer, please feel free to, you can go ahead and answer that question. So that's okay as well. Again, if you've already know the answer to that question. But read that narrative up there. I think about 80% of us are okay with students answering other students' questions. It could be kind of a basic one. When is that assignment due? And maybe they missed it and didn't read it in the syllabus, and another student will see it and say, oh, that assignment's due on Tuesday. And then usually I'll go in there and confirm and say, yes, that student is correct, and thank you for answering the question. So students can answer other questions in there. Again, depending on the instructor. So, virtual office, key area for you to ask questions of the instructor. Of course, email for those private questions, and also giving them a call. I know I also like to use text messaging. That's really worked out and has gotten response time really measured in minutes rather than hours. But that's up to instructor discretion on whether they go that far with text messaging. They will tell you clearly how to communicate with you usually in this in the course overview area. Okay, so again, make sure you read the course overview. It gives you a lot of information about how the course will be laid out, and there's usually a biography about the instructor in the course. So that's kind of interesting to learn a little bit about your instructor. Okay, course overview. Modules. Every course here at Mercy College is broken down in general. There are a couple of courses that are not for various reasons, but 98% of our courses are broken down into 8 modules. And a module consists of a week's worth of learning. So please note that you have modules down here on the side, and the modules have dates on them, which means the module will not open. You cannot actually open the module and look at the content, or all of the content, until that date. Now, modules typically open on a Sunday or Monday. Sometimes we do what's called a preview, and that preview opens on Sunday, but the work, if you will, starts on Monday. And then modules close on Sunday. So be careful. Make sure you have all of your work done. Whatever's required, maybe a quiz, for example. And that quiz, the instructor should lay it out clearly. Quiz must be completed by Sunday at midnight Eastern time. Make sure you get it in, because once the module closes, you may not be able to go back in and take that quiz. So, or it would be considered late at any respect. So, modules are, again, weeks worth of learning. And again, we are, of course, broken down into 8 modules, because 98% of our courses here at Mercy College are 8 weeks long. Question I get a lot is, can students work ahead? Absolutely, you can work ahead. You have a syllabus. You'll know what's due, typically. So you can do large components of work ahead of time, and I encourage you to. You may know that there's a major paper due in Module 3. Of course, maybe you can't access Module 3 yet to submit the assignment, but obviously you can definitely work on it. Now, there's some activities, assignments, if you will, that you cannot really work on ahead of time. Those are usually discussion assignments, and we'll talk about those in just a second, because that requires a little bit of interactivity going back and forth. And that one can be a little bit difficult to do ahead of time. But you definitely, I would say, in general, maybe 80% of the work you do in any course can be done ahead of time. So you can work ahead. If you are the kind of person who has the ability to, you do work ahead, that doesn't mean you cannot, ignore the class. Please check in with the class. Again, changes can happen. An instructor can put a notice in the in the course news about something. So my recommendation is to check in at least every 2 days, at a bare minimum every 3, just to see what's going on with the course, anything new being posted. And again, you may be required anyway to check in order to do discussion assignments. All right, so let's look. I've been talking about those discussion assignments a lot. So let's look at some discussions. I'm going to go up here to, we've gone over course home. We've gone over content, which brings you into the course itself. We've gone over the overview and these tabs along the side, which are modules. Activities. These will be things like discussion, which we'll click on in a second, Dropbox, where you will submit your written assignments, and you'll find quizzes in here as well. All right, so let's look at a discussion. Virtual Office is a discussion or a discussion forum. I also, let's see, in this course I had a introduction discussion, and various different types of discussions. Let's look at this one. This discussion I had, probably more typical of what you will have. So what students were required to do is, in this case, they had to come up with some strategies, but they had to make a post. They had to write their original 3, let's say there are 3 strategies that they were coming up with for this particular discussion, and they had to post this to the discussion forum by Wednesday. Then they were required to look at their fellow students, their discussions, and post 2 peer responses by Friday. Maybe it's again, the instructor will give you some guidelines. They might say that you read your fellow students, read 2 or 3 of your fellow students' main post and comment on their strategies. But they'll give you guidelines on what's required. Let's pop into a discussion and see how this one looked. Okay, so here's the forum itself. And let's see. Oh, and I'm sorry, but in this case, we've already eliminated the discussions because this course was closed. Let me go back into, so we can get a look at what those discussions, the way they're what we call threaded. So I want to show you how that looks. Let me go back up. I can click here, or I can click here. I'll go this way, go back to discussion list. Let me go back to that virtual office. That one hasn't been cleared out yet. So let's say, like in this case, Marissa, this was Marissa's main post. And then as you can see here, here was my reply. And this would be the same thing, is that you'll see a student's main post, and then you will reply to that. It's, again, a very intuitive system. You'll find that with your discussions, there'll always be a help sheet in there, a link if you need that, especially in RAD 300. You may be something that you want to print out and save if you need that. But let's say, for example, I wanted to ask a question to the professor. I simply hit the compose button, and a window will pop up. I will type in my subject, and again, almost like an email, and then type in my main post. Let me scooch this up so you can see this. And you can see there's simply a post button in here, and that will post as a main post to this particular topic. And then you can simply, like in Marissa's case, this would be her main post. I'm going to pull that up. Whoops, sorry, hit her email there. I'm sorry, what I'd want to do is hit reply. Let me bring this in so we can screen capture that for you. And this would be my response. I'll just type, this course is closed, so she's not going to see this. Oops, can I spell hello? There we go. All right, so, and I will post that. There we go. It's thinking. And now you can see that my response back to that main post has shown up. let's say you wrote something in there and you need to change it. You can, under the More Actions button, you can edit something. Maybe you misspelled something or you decided to change your thoughts on that. You can go back and edit a post. So know that what you've written is you can change that. So don't feel that it's permanently there if you see that you've made a mistake. Okay, so that goes over some basics with the discussion forums. Again, it'll be a very common thing that you'll do probably on a weekly basis for most courses, is where you will have a discussion with a main post and then a response. Dropbox. Dropbox is very easy to use. This will be an area where you will simply, let me click on one of these links here. It'll be an area where that you can submit a written assignment, typically. In some cases, actually I can't even think of any cases where it would not be a written Word document. Well, maybe some for a finance course you might have to do a spreadsheet, but typically medical imaging students will not be taking accounting courses with spreadsheets. So, but maybe a PowerPoint. A PowerPoint could be submitted for your courses. That might be more common, but the most common will be a Word document. And remember that we are a Microsoft Word environment, so please don't submit pages or any other formats other than Microsoft Word. And it's very, very easy to upload a document. You just simply click Add File, and you can drag and drop files into here. Let me see if I have a Word document. Oh, let's see. I got something called YouTube link. I can just drop that into there. Be careful about submitting assignments. Make sure you got the right one that you're in there. It is common. Students will, maybe drop the wrong assignment in there. But you can drag and drop that Word document in there and click Done. You can write some comments in here if you wish. Here's my assignment, or thanks for a great assignment. Totally up to you. Typically, the comment section is not required, and then just hit Submit. And so that is how you would do that. If for any reason you've submitted the wrong one, you've realized it, you can always go back in and submit a multiple one. Another document, that's where you may want to say, hey, Professor Gibbons, I'm sorry, I submitted the wrong assignment. Please look at this one. So that's where maybe that little narrative in the comment section might help the instructor. Let me go back to the course home. What we do for convenience sake in many of our in many of our modules is we'll put in links to the discussions. We'll put in a link to the Dropbox, so the student doesn't even have to go up to the activity section and click that. So let's see here. Let me pick, let's see if I have one in Module 1 that you can look at. So, yeah, in this case, there's a discussion, part of the assignment. They'll read this, and then I just put a quick link right in there so they can link right to that discussion automatically. So you don't necessarily always have to go up to this activity section. Sometimes you put, again, that convenience link in there for the student to go right to that. And you'll find that as well with Dropbox. Let's see if we have a Dropbox in here. Yeah, in this case we have an assignment, and then they have the assignment, and there's a link to the Dropbox. Again, you can get to there a couple of ways. You can go kind of back up to activities, go to Dropbox, and then look for that particular assignment, or maybe the instructor has put that a quick link already sending you to that particular Dropbox, just saving you a few steps. Also ensuring that a student doesn't submit to the wrong Dropbox. That can help as well. Okay, quizzes. Again, quizzes will, as you're going through a module, that one should be pretty much quick linked in there. You normally would not have to go to the quiz list and select the quiz to do. You could obviously get there, but you'll mostly find those already embedded as you're going through the content. So let me show you an example here. Let's see where we have a quiz in this course. So yes, so let's say in Module 3, a little intro to the module, the learning objectives of that module, their reading and presentations. learning activities that they have to do for this particular one, a discussion, which we talked about, and they got a quiz. So they would click on this as they're going through. They're ready to take the quiz. They've read everything. They've watched the lectures. They're ready to go. So they read about, it's going to be 25 questions, 180 minutes, and then there's a quick link right for that Module 3 quiz. So you can usually find those already embedded in that module for the week, so you don't need to think about it. You know it's right there, and that's in most cases. Okay. So we've covered these basic activities that you'll be doing. As far as quizzes, what I would encourage you to do is please take time to read all that information about that quiz. There's always anxiety about taking a quiz. Will it be multiple choice? Will it be fill in the blank? Will it be matching? Hopefully your instructors will give you clear expectations of what that's going to be before you hit the quiz start button, and that anxiety goes up. So do take some time to read that. All quizzes will have, let's see if we can go into a quiz here and show you what one looks like. Okay, so I've clicked start the quiz, and this is what it would look like. You'd read, Dear Christopher, it tells you the expectations. It also gives you some details about the quiz. So I got 25 questions, I got 180 minutes. I will not be able, in this particular quiz, I cannot page back once I've answered a question. That can happen. So you can only answer and you can't go back. So you'll see that in there. And in this case, if I was in student mode, I would have a begin quiz button on here. So I would be able to, if I saw something in there and said, oh my gosh, I need to change the way I've studied, you can stop at this point. But once you actually click the begin quiz, you'll see a timer typically pop up, and it is going at that point. So now, in a quiz environment, sometimes things can go wrong. A computer can melt down. Internet connection could be lost. A problem with D2L can happen. Should you ever have a problem, especially when you're in a quiz environment, you do want to call D2L. The number is found right down here. This is probably one of the numbers that you want to write on a piece of paper and tape to your laptop, or make a little sticker and tape that number to your laptop. They typically will not be able to fix the problem, but what that will do is it will create what we call a ticket, but basically a log of the event that has happened to you. So then the instructor, who will be the second person you'll notify, will then work with our own distance education staff to fix the issue for you, figure out what had happened. But it's very critical that you have that log, which sort of protects you in saying that, yes, I was taking this quiz or test, it wasn't late, and this particular event happened. So please have that D2L technical number somewhere, on your laptop or at the ready at any moment's notice. You can also have technical issues maybe with an upload. Anything that prevents you from submitting your assignment in a timely fashion, that's where you'll want to call D2L. Again, generate that ticket or that document of the documentation of that event happening to you. And then second, notify the instructor of what has happened and that you did call D2L. And then they can, get that all worked out. All right, so we've gone through a lot of the information here. I am going to point to the grade function on here. I won't pull up that one because I know when I pull it up it's going to show everybody's grade in this course, as I was the instructor for the course, so I want to keep their grades private. But you will be able to see your graded assignments in there, so that's kind of nice. You'll be able to see as the instructor grades things. Some quizzes are graded automatically, especially if it's a multiple choice, so you can see the results in the grades. So do check in with your grade book frequently, knowing where you stand in the course at any one time. Course tools. In this section, this is geared towards my instructor privileges, but what you will find in here, the one tool that you'll use the most will be the library learning bookshelf. Let me just kind of go back here for a second. I want to show you that because that is extremely important, that you become familiar with the library resources here at Mercy College. As you can see in this course, I actually inserted a tutorial video. I'll give you that video as well. I know many of you will not have your library barcodes for another few days, but this tutorial does reside in YouTube, so you can watch this anytime that you like. But please become familiar with the online library resources. It will make your life so much easier to be able to do your research at any time of the day. You don't have to go into a physical library anymore. It just again saves time. As I say, work smarter, not harder. Make it easier on yourself to complete your assignments. So please review the online library resource in that tutorial, which you will find posted in your RAD 300 course. Let me just change my role here to student. And let's see, course tools. Now, and let's see. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's under help. We recently redid the top banner bar. So course tools, attendance, class lists, groups, surveys, used infrequently. But again, every instructor has their own favorite technical tools. But in general, the surveys, groups are not used in most cases. But now we have it under the help, which is the library resource bookshelf. Again, please explore all of these. I go through this in the library tutorial. Do become familiar with this page and how it works and this particular bookshelf. All of these little books here are clickable links. So again, some of the ones, and we'll point this out in the other video, but citations and APA, a lot of people have questions about that. You can find a nice area on there. And then, of course, you'll be able to link to those online resources for you in the in this library bookshelf. Okay, so let's go back to the course. That pretty much covers a lot of the basics that you'll be using within Desire to Learn. Quizzes, Dropbox, threaded discussions, the content button, of course, is the key to your course. Within your courses, again, you'll want to go through all of the sequential steps here in the modules. In this case, reading and presentations, I'll click on this to get you kind of in general how these things might look. Every instructor is a little different. But in my case, I like to put what the reading assignment is for that week. And then if there is a video lecture, you may have a video lecture or audio lecture. It may be a complete reading assignment for that week, but that should be clearly indicated. As with any course in college, I would always, if my instructor had a lecture presentation, I would watch it, because usually that ties in to what's on the quiz, and then of course may tie into what's on a final. So please do watch that. With video, if you do have instructors who use video lectures, please be aware of how the video will interact with your browser. Let me talk briefly about browsers here, because I didn't mention that at the beginning. D2L works the best with Internet Explorer 9. Now, I am using, for those of you that may recognize this, I am using Chrome. Chrome it also works very well with. Our D2L environment does not work well with Firefox. So unfortunately for you folks using Firefox out there, I would probably put that one on the wayside. It will work for majority of the functions. Then all of a sudden, and it's usually video, you'll find that it won't be working so well. So you may want to, again, stick with Internet Explorer and Chrome. With Chrome, there is an interesting thing that Google has with video. And you'll notice that in some cases, and this is explained as you're going through the RAD 300 residency course, you will see a section on there about Chrome and the security warning that you'll get from Chrome about certain video content. Of course, you can trust all the content that comes from Mercy College. But let's say, for example, you are using Chrome and you pull up a web page and there's a big blank here. It will actually show up as an actual, there'll be nothing here where this video, image of a video should be. Notice, and then again, it's explained in RAD 300, there'll be a small shield icon located right here. Again, this is only particular to the Chrome browsers, located right up here. You'll click on that shield icon that appears. It's very subtle. Click on that, and then you'll give Chrome permission, and then the video will appear. And then you'll have no problem in playing that. So please note that if you are a Chrome user, such as myself, that will happen with some videos here at the college. Some of us use YouTube to provide videos. Some of us use another video server, and it kind of depends on which, how those play well with Chrome, whether you have that particular security warning or not. Okay. Excellent. We've gone over a lot of the basics for Desire to Learn here today. What I would like you to do, as you are entering your first courses, many of you are entering your first what I call content courses, where you're actually doing, learning, course-related, program-related materials. If you have any difficulty as you're going through, especially this week or beyond, please contact me. That's what Residency 300 is all about. It's becoming familiar with D2L and becoming familiar with your program. But we definitely want you to make sure that you're comfortable with the online learning environment. And I'm here, especially throughout this first week in your courses and beyond, to help you. Know that you have other resources as well. We do have our own distance education staff, and I'm going to click on the D2L Help Portal. Again, some basic questions can be answered here. You can also, at any time, let's see, we'll go to down to, what is distance education? Through a couple of clicks, you can always find, and get help from our distance education site. Again, with those technical issues that you might have, like on a quiz, though, please contact that Desire to Learn number. They will log that ticket for us, and then our local folks will be able to come in and help you. Let's see here. So that covers, can kind of find a lot of information about help on this page with Desire to Learn. I would take some time and kind of go through some of these links when you get a chance. Okay, excellent. We'll go back to the course, going back to course home where we began, and again, that pretty much covers the basics. There are many more features within Desire to Learn as you go through this, but what we've gone through today is actually about 95% of what you will encounter as you're doing your courses here at Mercy College. Again, if you need any help this week or beyond, don't hesitate to give me a call. And as always, thank you for watching.